Sveiki, and welcome back to your Irregular Latvian lesson. Last time we learned the basic and polite ways to greet Latvians, so now let's get on to the fun stuff. First, we're gonna look at a regional version of the greetings that you learned last time, and then we're gonna look at some more informal ways to greet people. Let's go! Okay, so you remember labrīt, labdien, and labvakar. So these greetings will work pretty much everywhere in Latvia, but if you're traveling southeast, you might want to learn the Latgalian way to say hello. So Latgalia is one of the 4 historic regions of Latvia, and it's situated here-ish. Pretty much everywhere you go in Latvia, you might hear slight variation in the accent and in the words that people use, but Latgalia is the region that has the most distinct dialect. Okay, so since I'm not from Latgalia, I will try to pronounce these, but if there is some Latgalian people watching, send in a recording so that if people believe me, people don't learn wrong. Okay, here it goes. You remember labrīt? Well, in Latgalia it's labs reits. Labdien becomes lobadīna, and labvakar is labs vakars. My friend from Latgalia, who lives in Ludza, also told me of another greeting that they use, which is vesels for men and vesela for women. So the word vesels in Latvian means healthy. So when, for example, you say vesels, insert name here, I would translate it as good health to you, insert name here. And I also asked my friend for an example of how you would use this in the sentence, and he gave me a very specific example. Vesels kaimiņ, aizdūn uz divdienām priekšolu seiriku, which means, good health to you, neighbor, lend me €1 for a beer, I'll give it back in 2 days. I am not sure if this is an example that he made up or if it's actually a thing that he says from time to time. But in case you're wondering, yes, beer really is that cheap in Latvia. Okay, let's move on. Sveiki you already know, but you can use it in a gender-specific way too. So you would say sveiks if you're greeting a man, like sveiks Jāni. Jānis is one of the most popular names in Latvia. Or you would say sveika for women. Sveika Anete. Sveiki. And there are even more variations of sveiki. You can also say sveicināti for everybody, sveicināts for men, and sveicināta for women. And then the word jūs mājās can be added to labdien, labrīt, labvakar, sveiki, sveicināti, un sveicināta. It is a shortened version of jūsu mājās, which means in your home. So if, for example, you say labdien, jūs mājās, it means good day or hello in your home. So the last time I heard this greeting was in a historically inspired Latvian soap opera. So I imagine this was widely used before Latvia became urbanized, when going to see your neighbor was an activity for a whole day. Yes, you could easily have no neighbors in a radius of like 3 kilometers. Why? Because Latvians like to live as far apart as possible. There's even a word that we often use to describe us as a people, which is viensētnieks. This is a saliktenis. Viens means one, and sēta means like your territory, where you live, like the land that you call home, which has a fence around it. So viensētnieks means somebody who lives in his own land alone. And the point is to say that each Latvian likes to be the master of his own land. Hence the distant neighbors. And even today it is not uncommon to find houses where there are no neighbors around for miles. And so the average population density in Latvia is 30.8 people per square kilometer. Just to give you a comparison, in France it's 119 people per square kilometer. And in Germany it's 227 people per square kilometer. You get the picture. By the way, jūs is a very important word to know, especially if you are working or studying in Latvia. It is a pronoun and it means you in plural, but it can be written in 2 ways, with the small j and with the big J. With the small j, it means you as in multiple people in front of me that I am addressing. For example, all of you who are watching this video. Jūs, kas skatāties šo video. But jūs with a capital J is used to address politely somebody who you do not know, or for example, an elder, a wizard, an almighty person that has power over you and that can make your life a living hell, like a teacher. If you're interested in urgently learning some more polite ways to speak Latvian, let me know and I will try to make that happen for you. Because if you are a foreigner and you ignore, for example, using jūs, Latvians will kind of understand you, but not really, because politeness is very important in Latvia. Then we have ciao. Yep, you know from the alphabet videos that we have totally privatized this word from the Italians. And just like Italians, we use it both to say hello and goodbye. So for example, a phone conversation can easily go like this. Ciao, labi, ciao. This is probably the most used colloquial greeting in Latvia. Ciao is not something that you would say to somebody who you don't know or your teacher, then you would say labdien. Oh, I feel you wondering, why do we use ciao? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some linguists say that it appeared in Latvia in the 1930s when we used it as a way to kind of imitate the exotic Italian culture. Others say that it came in along with Italian merchants earlier, but everyone agrees that it stuck around because we Latvians love simplicity. So much so that sometimes we don't even bother with saying the first part of words like labdien and labrit, so instead you just get bdien, brit, bvakar. Ciao also has a lot of mutations in its written form. If you are under 14 years old and use text messages as your primary way of communication, it is completely acceptable to start conversations with chav, chav, and chaviņā. Otherwise, erase them from your mind. If a grown-up Latvian writes you any of these, hope that they're doing it ironically. Oh, and you could also come across ciao being written like this. Why is it written like that? Because 4 in Latvian is četri, and both četri and ciao start with a C with a little hat, which is ch. But seriously, if somebody writes chav to you like this, chances are you are on a shady dating site. Don't believe me? Try googling chav and ciao in the Latvian Google and see what comes up. And then thank the gods if you do not have the Latvian proficiency to understand what is written there. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed part 2 of the Latvian greetings. Next time we will wrap up this series by learning how to answer the phone and then take a historic poetic detour in some vintage greetings. Don't forget to express yourself in the comments and see you later.